the streets, their faces white. They look at me, eyes filled with fright. All covered up, features concealed, emotions chained, nothing revealed. City of masks, I dwell in fear. The air is dense, nothing is clear. City of masks, popular sick. Cover your face, this wall so thick. Nothing is clear. City of masks, popular sick. Cover your face, this wall so thick. The tiles in the bathroom. You were a sad man, you were hardly sane. You used up your cachet, you called out in vain. They came at night, they took your name, and they stole your notes, they left and came. From this recurring pain, no, I can never find my way out of the rain. No. Will you sit here in this room? Waiting for nothing. You've been down here so long. Just waiting for nothing. Well, you can't even get out of bed. No. Sitting here all day, just waiting for if there was something coming. You're sitting here in this room, waiting for nothing. You've been down here so long, just waiting for nothing.自粛って何？ living life from day to day, never know what lies ahead, cannot see beyond the night. Will you wake up dead?
I've got laugh lines on my face.
The gods, they envy us, or so Homer once said. One day we are alive, and the next, well, we'll be dead. Today you are alive. blackbird, the blackbird flies. Blackbird, blackbird flies. And it falls upside down. Yes, it falls upside down. There are 3 pages in your book. Only 3. There are only 3. You've been down here so long, just waiting for nothing. Made of sounds in his house, shook the ground with his noise. About 10,000 gauss. Woo, yeah! There once was a boy without hands. He was a talented boy, didn't have many fans. Was a boy with a dream, got caught up in his world. When the time came around, well, his bad news unfurled. Woo, yeah! Marc, Lowe, よろしく。Well, you said you're in this room, waiting for nothing. You've been down here so long, just waiting for nothing.
You know, I had a really fucking day of my life. It's no fucking joke. We are aliens from Mars. I don't believe in this reality at all. Fucking bullshit.まずはこれは彼の名曲でもあるんだけど、マイナーの中の名曲っていうか、ローっていうアルバムに入ってます、B面に。ということで、インスト系ですよ。ワルさん。ありがとう。自粛で作った曲ね。自粛って何ってね。セルフコントロール。Living here from day to day, never know what lies ahead. And in the night, I saw your form, I saw your face, and I braved the storm. From out of time, from out of space, another room, another place. one kiss, one night, such bliss, one voice, one touch, one love. Forget the past and forget the hurt. Well, it is not right. Never revert. It makes you think. Oh, yes, it makes you dream. You want it now, not what it seems. Desert road from Vegas to nowhere, someplace better than where you've been. Coffee machine that needs some fixing, little cafe just around the bend.
選択肢がガチャガチャゲストでいるの。
OK かな。
で、南條さんはスペシャルゲストだけど男性のゲストでしょ。で、女の子で一人入れなきゃいけない。ガチャはあそこでほらやってるやん。フリータイムで何回も行く。
じゃあ皆さん始めたいと思います。これマークだと思います。今日はね、全くいつもと違う感じでということでやります。Be your husband if you be my wife. Be your husband if you be my wife. Be your husband if you be my wife. Loving you all the rest of my life. Well, stick to the promise that you made to me. Oh, stick to the promise that you made to me. Stick to the promise that you made to me, that you'd stay away from Johnny Lee. Well, if you want me to, I'll cook and clean. If you want me to, I'll cook and clean, baby, baby, baby. If you want me to, well, I'll cook and clean. Well,
goddamn meal.でさ、これね、カバーソングしかもこれ失敗したらみんなバレるしさ怖い。大丈夫かなすでにダメ。Desert road from Vegas to nowhere, someplace better than where you've been. A coffee machine that needs some fixing, little cafe just around the bend. Hot dry wind it blows right through me. The baby's crying and I can't sleep. We all know a change is coming, coming closer, sweet relief. The things that you say cannot be explained. The way that you try as if you were deranged. This wind around me, swirling about me, it never dies, ever persists. This dark inside me, growing inside me, well it ever grows, never desists. And I cannot hear for the din. I do not know where I've been. I cannot hear for the deep. Do not know where I've been. The world is an illusion, also the Buddha said. The world should be ignored. Soon we'll all be dead. Downfall into nihil. Don't fall into the void. Your life is worth saving. Don't let it be destroyed.
本
私耳があれなんだよ、弱いんだよ。
ああ、そうだったね。飛行機の時もすごいきつかったわけね。覚えてる。だね。
すごい。
わお。
おお、
ついたか。これはトップか。
I jumped in the river, what did I see? Black-eyed angels swam with me. A moon full of stars and astral cars. And all the figures that I used to see. And all my lovers were there with me. And all my pasts and futures. We all went to heaven in a little rowboat. There was nothing to fear and nothing to doubt. There was nothing to fear and nothing to doubt. There was nothing to fear and nothing to doubt.まずは音楽で生きてるからね、俺は。
And this is Hallelujah. Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played out to please the Lord, that you don't hear always well, it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the monophone, and the major left, the baffled king composing hallelujah. I can't forget the past. Oh, the birdie cried. The one who broke my heart. That night I died. And I can't forgive the one who made me weep. I cannot mend the wounds, well, they run so deep.
a bird did feel. No, no, well, it was not real.
最初はジャカジャカか。
Put your trust into the hands. Wash yourself and cross the lines. Lie to you as if you're done. They think you like as your son. You end up subjected. You end up regretted. You end up rejected. Now you're infected. The stains that line your floor. Well, your life, it's such a fucking bore. The broken plates and cups. Well, the roaches and the flies. Those papers on your floor. Three things in your thoughts. Only three. There are 3 days in your week. Only 3. There are 3 words on your lips. Only 3. There are only 3. Signs in the sky.
There are 3 signs in the sky.
Only 3. There are 3 lights in your house.
There are 3 lights in your house.
Only 3.
Marc Lowe in Tokyo, and this is a very unique opportunity, I feel, or at least it feels this way to me. Last year, 2023, I did a new, shorter, more concise edit of what had been my musical journey documentary, the original 4 parts, which I had put together in 2020. And I had done that during COVID when I was living with my ex in our place there. And that documentary ends basically with, COVID and we're together and sort of staying at home, that kind of thing. And it talks mostly about the years I spent in Fukuoka and my so-called musical journey. Now that video is still on YouTube, and I will include the link to that below. In fact, although that was the original, those 4 parts did constitute the original documentary, and I did, like I say, sort of cut a lot of things, actually, and sort of boil it down. There were 3 more parts, and the 3 parts that concluded the documentary actually end with the very end of 2020. And so I had posted them as I had created them in pieces in 2020, and the last parts I posted right toward the end of the year. Now it's right around the end of 2024, right? So this is exactly 4 years ago. Now this year, I'd been thinking a lot about these COVID years. And not only the COVID years from 2020 onward, and I came to Tokyo at the end of 2029 with my then partner, but especially from the beginning of COVID and my breakup, my moving into this apartment, and the music I had made for those 4 years. For example, I did, one way in which I was thinking of this, I did a long compilation, a lengthy compilation that also can be found on YouTube, called Without Darkness, There Would Be No Light. And that really literally covered the time that I had, in 2020, that I had moved into this apartment on July 1st, 2020, until July 1st, 2024. I was thinking about that 4-year period. And the last LP I had completed and published, which is obviously still available, was called Before and After COVID. Okay. John Majori, of the Bowie blog, did an interview with me about that album, which again, I'll put the link and a little maybe, icon, something to show what that was. So COVID. Now, look at what I have here on my computer screen. This is actually the opening shot of the documentary, the edited documentary you are about to view, which is this. It's COVID. So, it's now again, right, the end of 2024, and I have just posted my bricolages for this year, which is something I've been doing, I started doing last year, which is kind of a summary. Now, I also did a bricolage last year for the years 2020, 2021, which were the COVID years. And that actually combined 20 and 21. Those are the years I was living here, away from my partner, my ex-partner, and it was the COVID music. Now, some of that music is actually discussed in this documentary, because I was making it at the time. Another thing, let me quickly mention before I talk about the documentary itself and why I've come to it now and why I'm sharing it now and in what form. So, earlier this year, I revisited an album of mine, and I've posted about this many times. I had talks about it, and I've posted the music, called The Angel of Death. I'm going to close that. The Angel of Death from 2017. That was my first album I had created with a MIDI keyboard, Korg MIDI keyboard in Logic. And it was kind of first electronic album. It was significant because songs such as The Dials in the Bathroom came from that album. Red Signals came from that album. These are songs that I often perform. This year I did new versions of A Liar. And I also, so I revisited that, right? Firstly, then I decided to do a kind of new version, if you will, or a remake, or it's not a remake. And in fact, what it ended up being was something completely different. I did not redo The Dials in the Bathroom and Red Signals. Those songs I had redone last year as This Dark Shroud, and I did an album called Red Signals solo as well. And I've, my most recent album, for example, The Tower, has an acoustic version of Red Signals on it. The Dial is in the Bathroom is also on The Tower this year. That's a song I've rearranged many times. But what I did instead this year was I took 3 pieces from the original album that were not pieces that I normally do. One was A Liar. The other was Phantom, which last year I had done in a new acoustic version on the album I had created for my 50th birthday at the time. I'm 51 this year, and next year I'll be in February 52. Okay, so I didn't take those songs and redo them again for this album, which of course was Angels of Time, right? Which, if you look at the timeline of my publications, my published albums this year, The Tower is the most recent to date. There are others coming soon, next month. No, this month, because it's December. But The Tower, before that was Before and After COVID, which I've just mentioned, which was right around, 4 years after. And then before that was Angels of Time. Now, Angels of Time, I'm talking about now, I did A Liar. I did Phantom in an electric version, like electric guitar, and I played live drums in the studio. That song actually goes back to my days as a band person in my first band, Chattering Men. We had a hard rock arrangement of that. So I wanted to do a hard rock solo arrangement, which was a remake of the version I had done for Angel of Death, 2017 version. And most significantly, in a way, although maybe not the easiest to listen to, and also the longest track that I redid, was Only When I Tried to Find You. Only When I Tried to Find You in particular deals with the aftermath of my breakup with my ex-partner. And I sang the original version in 2017 in my apartment in Fukuoka. And I'll tell you the truth, I remember my ex, we were, together as a couple, and she was sleeping on the bed when I sang that improvisation, and I played it for her like the next day. I just remember this. And this past year, earlier this year, I decided to make that one of the songs that I was going to do again, but I had no idea at the time how it would turn out. And I had just recently bought my Suling flute, my bamboo Suling flute. And it was snowing one day, and the video is also on YouTube somewhere. And I went outside, and I'll look for it, and I'll maybe put the clip up. I went outside in the snow, and I took a walk in the snow with my flute. And then when I found a spot, I played the flute. And it was freezing cold. My hands were freezing cold. I couldn't play it very long. So the walk was later used in the video of Only When I Tried to Find You, and then reused in Angels of Time, the video. I also did a video for Phantom in my room, in this room, on my bed, which I no longer have. So if you're following, the flute, because I played it only a short time, I ended up stretching it with an effect. So the flute sounds very slow and stretched in the Only When I Tried to Find You song. And that became like almost the main backing for that. And I think I just used like a drone up along with that. And then at the end, it's sort of, there's some synth and some drum buildup toward the end. The original is kind of also free form. Actually, the very first version from 2017 just has this drum loop kind of thing playing. It's actually Logic drums. I wasn't, at that time, I didn't use such advanced things, but I think it works even listening to it today. And then I improv the vocals atop that. And there's some other sounds, and there's some it sounds like a marble rolling around. That was from Logic and things like this. The 2018 version I then rearranged with some other elements, like some African chanting, and I was using Loop Library, that kind of thing. But this year's version is just the stretched suling sound from the walk in the snow, and the synth, and then the drums at the end, that kind of thing. And I again improvised the vocals, and I did it in this room, and actually the video is literally me singing it in the room, combined with footage of me walking in the snow, wearing a hat and a jacket. So that was in, I forget, I think it was February, which is the month of my birthday. Because I completed the album just before I turned 51. That was like this year's, when I did my 022623 album last year for 50 years. This year, the album that I produced around the time of my birthday in February and early March, when I may have published March or April, actually, I think I published it later, was Angels of Time. Now, I started improvising the vocals with the same opening. They said you were dead. They said you'd fallen into a hole into the ground. They said you were dead. It starts like this, but what I didn't know was where the improv was going to go this year, because I wasn't singing the same exact lyrics as the original version. And as it went on, and this was not my initial plan at all, I wasn't thinking at all what I was going to sing about per se, but the you of the song became my ex-partner. I don't know why, it was there. So that song in particular, it's very obvious that it's about the breakup, and there are some anecdotes in there that things just came out of my from my head, out of my mouth, and I just didn't edit it. It just is, it's real, it is what it is. So you can listen to that song, you can watch the video. I also did a track called Angels of Time, which became the title track, and it's got some philosophical aspects. It's got the voice of J. Krishnamurti, who I was listening to a lot at the time, his philosophical talks and things about time. But also it has bits and pieces, and this was intentional, that I was singing of other songs from Angel of Death. Now, Angel of Death does not directly connect to I have scissors in my hand, the flowers are screaming. That was also a song that we recorded together with the scissors sound. That was her idea for This Dark Shroud. We had a history, not only 4 years of being together, but she was integral to the music I made in Fukuoka. She was my biggest fan. She listened to my music. She gave me advice or feedback, usually not advice as much as just honest feedback of things that were in progress or whatever. And she would just, I had a listener always in her. And we were together a lot. We spent a lot of time together. And so she was an important part of my life for 4 years. And that came out in Angels of Time earlier this year. Now, I had tried to close the book on that whole thing in 2022 with The Way Out Is In, the album The Way Out Is In. And in this documentary, you will see at one point I'm playing One Touch, and I give the background about this song. And I think I'm going to start talking about this video, this documentary now after 13 minutes, unless I edit this. Maybe this talk will come after the documentary instead of before. One Touch was a song that I had written in 2016. It was after the break of my band, another kind of thing. Now, before I talk about One Touch, I wrote it in 2016. It was an a cappella song. What I wanted to say is, before I forget, 2016, 2020, 2024, these are 4-year intervals. Summer of 2016, my band broke up, huge thing. I also separated from my then wife, and we got a divorce, and I met who would be my ex-girlfriend at the end of that year after I'd moved, because I met her in the new neighborhood where I was living after I'd split. So that was a huge year of change, good and bad. 2020, I'd come to Tokyo just several months prior, 2019, after my contract had ended. I lost my full-time work as a professor, full-time Jun Kyoju Associate Professor position. And I was out of work, and then, started getting piecemeal university work part-time in Tokyo. And then the breakup, well, actually COVID started, and then the breakup in the summer, the breakup. And I moved in here July 1st, as I mentioned. And the documentary, actually, you can see the before and after where I was living. And then after I moved in here, and also there was a temporary housing in between, right? I'm saying can see, but if I put this at the end, then it will be, you have seen it. So this apartment, I've been here for 4 years. I mentioned that compilation I made of music, because that was a significant period for me in my mind, July to July. Now, if you've seen other recent talks of mine, I talked about how I tried to move out of here. And there were several reasons for that, just to bring this up to today, and then I'll go back to talking about the documentary. One is that it's tiny room. Another is that I was having terrible allergies. I've since figured out how to ventilate it, and my allergies have gotten better. That's a good thing. Another reason, I needed a change of air. I moved in here as a temporary stopgap measure and was ready to move on. And another reason is that just location-wise, it's kind of far from things. And I thought, it would be nice to be closer to the train line, closer to certain jobs where I'm working, universities, and have a bigger room, and so on and so on. Okay, that didn't work out. You can watch the talks about that. Now I'm finally moved back into this room. Things have settled a bit. But the point is that 2016, 2020, 2024, there's always some major upheaval in my life, and a move. 2016, I moved out of where I was living with my wife, who became now my ex-wife. 2020, I moved out, my ex-partner. I've been alone here for 4+ years now, because it's past July. 2024, I attempted to move by myself, and I ended up back here. And I'm still single, and I'm still living alone. This is all very interesting to me, the way that these things happen in cycles. And some say that what the world is going through now is also a cycle, like the end of World War I, World War II, World War, etc. All these things happening. So getting back to the documentary, in fact, so I've given the background of how I've been thinking about the COVID times and about the move and about, the relationship and all those things. Anyway, I said that also in 2022, I tried to close the book with The Way Out is In. And going back to One Touch, and that also connects to the documentary, that song was written in 2016 after the breakup of my band. It was the first arpeggio song I had written by myself, unless you want to count What Had You Done, which was originally called Forest and was co-written with a guy I'd worked with for only 3 weeks in a collaboration in a trio. I talk about this in my talk on my band days. So you can listen to that if you want to know details of that. But that song was actually co-written, and the guitar parts were in large part the way that, his idea. I've since rearranged it, and I play it totally differently, and I sing it differently, and I even changed the title and the lyrics. But that song was originally co-written. But the first arpeggio song I ever wrote by myself as my first solo arpeggio song was One Touch. That was followed by songs like Chaos, which is also arpeggio, because I had learned to do arpeggios. And that Chaos had been an a cappella song. That's also very important in my catalog. There's also a scene in the video where I'm playing Chaos in 2020. So One Touch I had a demo of it basically in GarageBand. It was before I had done Logic in 2017, before I bought my first keyboard. I was with my ex-girlfriend at that time, actually. She was part of that. And actually a lot of the songs that I wrote, starting off with the synth, which includes what I talk in the video, only 3 for her, because her birthday was March. And also the first ever synth song I recorded, Poppies for Sally, which the title was her idea. She wanted me to write a song called Poppies for Sally. There was no just write a song called Puppies for Sally. So that was the first synth song. The Puppies for Sally is not in the lyrics, but it's just the name I gave because that was her idea. I did for her. So that also I remixed for Angels of Time. You see now I'm giving information on Angels of Time, things that maybe I've not talked about before. I'm not sure. So that's why that connects to those pieces like from 2017 or thereabouts. But One Touch, I had demos. I had broken up, the band had broken up, right? And I was on my own. I was living alone. And I met her in that neighborhood. And at the time, I was always talking about my music and, excited to share it kind of thing. I've since stopped kind of doing that because people don't care. And I've realized that. But at the time, I was really gung-ho about it, And when I met her, I remember I had like a demo CD or something I gave. And and then I met her again several weeks or a month later, something. We were both living actually in the neighborhood, kind of not far from each other. And we had met at this, this place. And it was a bar, just a regular bar that was close to where I lived. And apparently she had, been going there too. Before we met. And the second time I met her, it was like I listened to your demo and that song really moved me. And from that point on, and we ended up obviously having a relationship from after that. And that song became a kind of important song in a way that she would sometimes ask me to play it or, So, and then of course I wrote Only 3 for her later and other songs too, which I won't go into and they're not mentioned in the documentary. So that's where that comes from, all those things. Now, before and after COVID will make more sense watching this documentary, maybe, in a way. And also all these talks I've done on solitude and not being in relationships or being stoic or not sort of believing in that anymore might make more sense after watching this. And also the irony of that, the fact that I'm back in this apartment again. And you can see this apartment in the video. I'm still here. It's still the same small apartment. I rearranged it. I sometimes play on my 88 key Korg instead of the smaller synth Yamaha that you see in the video. I now have the Guild guitar since 2022. I don't play the Ibanez very much. That was my guitar at the time. I still have it actually. I used that for my 022623 album. When I was turning 50, I did that on purpose because that was the guitar I'd used in my band. And also I used it on The Way Out Is In. And when I played One Touch on that. And then when I actually, One Touch on that album, by the way, became Forget the Past. So again, there's another reference for anyone who's interested. If you listen to Forget the Past, you can hear it begins as One Touch and then it goes bonkers. So the last thing I want to say in this talk, why am I presenting this now? And I'm considering retitling it. I haven't actually yet gone back and re-edited it. I've just downloaded it and doing this talk, and then I'm going to edit, and then I guess I'll probably want to add or not. Maybe I won't add Japanese subtitles. Maybe it's better that I don't, because it's kind of sensitive. Then again, it's sensitive to show this video, but this is what I want to talk about. I had forgotten about this. I actually had made the videos private, and I went back, and actually I didn't even think I had them anymore because everything off my hard drive was basically wiped. I lost data several times, and then I lost my cloud data earlier this year, and some things I have backed up, but I did not have this video backed up. But I did have the original, I knew, and that's the one I re-edited last year, the first 4 parts. I thought this was gone. I had it on Vimeo, and I no longer have that Vimeo account. It's there, but I'm not paying for it. So those videos are not available. On a whim, I went to YouTube and I just typed in musical journey, and these videos were there, and they're private. So I downloaded them, and now I'm going to go and edit them. Now I watched them again. I'm going to do kind of what I did last year, but in a different way with the first 4 parts. I'm going to cut it a bit, but not I'm not going to cut it to the last part. Basically, I've rewatched it and I've decided this. The last part goes too long. It gets kind of boring. It's kind of all the live shows I did and all the collaborations I did with all the different people. I don't think that part is so important to me now as much as it was then. Really what I want to focus on is the story of COVID and of how I got here. And like I say, it's in a lot of the music that I've made. And I don't know if anyone's interested or not in this, but I just felt that it was something I need to do now. And it's good. I mean, this is 4 years I've waited. And to be honest, it's like I say in the video, I never saw her again. If you watch this scene, literally, that was it. And I haven't heard from her. I don't know where she is. And as I said in the video, and actually this is where I end the video, this version, this edit, and this is where it will end, is, you know, the only three is to our better days, our better memories, and I hope that she has found happiness. I said that in 2020, but I was still tortured with it for a long time thereafter. And I think, although I'm over it in the sense that it's long over and it's a past thing, and I learned lessons from it. It changed me forever. So, it was a very sensitive thing to release at the time, but it was something I needed to do to make this documentary and to get it out of my system in 2020. When I look at it now, I see a much younger, more naive self, and I shake my head and say, why did you go back? Why did you do this? Why did you do that? And it's interesting how much my perspective has changed, and that's good. We need to grow and learn from that. But I thought it was a bit too sensitive to have around at the time, so I ended up making it a private video. And when I re-edited it last year, I did just the first 4 parts, which really are the Fukuoka years and just the beginning of 2019-20 in Tokyo. But I think enough time has passed now that I can share this, and that I think, again, I don't know if anyone cares, but I just thought the timing was right. The end of 2024. After this cycle has moved, and maybe this can be, for me, in some weird way, closing the book, finally. Because I feel haunted by it.